Welcome to part 1 of the Garden Report. I'm with Nick Gelso from CLNS. I'm Jimmy Toscano from the Metro, Boston. Mike Bump right there. Celtics with a big win tonight, 130-120. It wasn't really a big win, but it was a big performance.
It was big.
By Devin Booker, -6 on the night. Your thoughts?
Wait, the plus minus?
Yeah.
Did you even bring that up right now?
Oh. Also, he had 70 points.
He had 70
by the
points.
way, we are here. SeatGeek. Big shout out to SeatGeek. I want to say there was definitely some fans in the stadium tonight that were here because of SeatGeek.
No question.
I bet you they downloaded the app and they typed in the promo code Garden Report. And if they did,
they got their rebate.
They got $20 and they saw a historic performance from Devin Booker. So we're going to get right into it.
Yeah. Devin
Devin Booker dropped 70 points against the Celtics, the most points ever scored against the Celtics. One of, I think, 7 players who's ever scored at least 70 points in the NBA.
And look that up because
only active player with 70.
Amount of people that have people who did actually score.
Wilt Chamberlain did it 6 times.
Well, come on.
No big deal.
Yeah. Just a day at the office for Wilt.
But unfortunately, the story after the game is how legit is that 70 points? And it's a shame because he had 42 going into the fourth quarter. He hit 50 midway through the quarter, and then all of a sudden he had 60. I think he legit 60 points. And then it got a little... Here we go with the fouls. Here we go with the fouls. Here we go with the timeouts, trying to, bring the ball up the court.
What were your thoughts on this?
My thoughts were, I get it from the Suns. I kind of get it from the Suns' perspective because they're a team that, listen, you look at their record. They're playing. Those players are playing for literally nothing aside from just playing for each other. But if I look at it from the Celtics, I kind of understand where they're coming from too. So I'm not really hating on it as much as I think other people are. I think it's.
The players definitely, I think, took exception. In the Celtics locker room, the players took exception to it. There's no question.
Which I think is fair. I think it's fair.
So.
I think it's fair that, Isaiah and Jay Crowder and Gerald Green and those guys, they're kind of shaking their head at the Suns bench because, they're up double digits. They want to get, they won the game. Let's be honest. The Suns were only doing this because they were trying to get Booker to 70 points. And after their game, Earl Watson wouldn't really admit that. He said, they're trying to keep it close. They're trying to, make their players better, and he's not going to apologize for it. He said, along the lines of "do something about it." If you don't like it, do something about it, which is kind of bizarre. Kind of bizarre question. Kind of bizarre point to make.
I thought that Devin Booker himself was humble, just really a gentleman in the pressers after the game. Makes you proud to be a fan of the NBA. I'd take him on the Celtics.
Oh, would you? Hot take alert. Yeah. I would consider
there it is.
I think if we redid the draft and the Celtics had the opportunity to take him, I think they might.
They might. And it was interesting. Jaylen Brown was the only Celtic to go up to him and congratulate him after the game.
It's a Jaylen Brown thing. I'm not surprised. He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, he is.
And you got to. It's hard. You can't take it out on Booker. Booker has nothing to do with it. If they're gonna put him in position to score 70, hats off to him. He scored 70. At the end of the day, the Celtics still could have stopped it from scoring 70. They fouled. He was hitting some wild shots.
The Celtics played defense to the very end.
Because they were playing for pride. They were trying to stop it.
You don't want anybody dropping 70 on you.
No.
In your own building, it's.
But. It happened. It was
exciting.
And it was actually the fans.
The fans.
How about the fans?
Well, that's
what do you think of that?
For you, Jimmy, because somebody had said the fans chanting MVP for Kobe years ago. This isn't even.
I was at that game. I was not chanting, by the way.
Are you sure?
1,000%. I was at the balcony. The bleacher creatures. No, I wasn't.
But anyway, there was no comparison today. The fans are excited. They should be excited.
If it's a close game, they're not chanting.
Tonight was pretty boring game up until Booker.
Up until you were like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah, I think we had like 42. I turned to you and said, "Is that it? We're getting close to the record." And then it came really, really quick. So it was an exciting night here at the Garden. And a good win for the Celtics. I think in part 2 you're going to touch on Brad Stevens and some of the comments that he had after the game.
It was a win. I know I said big win. It was only a big win because they're now 1-0.
This is great.
They are now 1-0 in games where opposing players score 70 points against them.
On that note.
Yeah. And on that note, we will see you for part 2. I will be joined by Joe Sway.
Pavone.
You know him. He's been on the show numerous times. We're going to get into the actual win because you wouldn't know this, but the way the Suns were celebrating after the game.
They won the championship.
It was. And again, I get it.
And the Celtics locker room, you could hear a pin drop.
Very strange. But you know what? That might be the mark of a legit playoff team right there. So
you know what? I'm going
Stick around
for part 2.
We'll be right back.